Hello and welcome to Healthy Snacking Fridays. Today is going to be a savory snack that you can make. We're going to be making some garlic confit. So right here I have five heads of garlic. So we're going to take those out. Okay. So you see I have the 5 heads here. So what I'm going to do is use my hand and break them open. I want these, which are the cloves. So I'm going to separate out the cloves from the outer shell, and I'm going to do that to all 5. So I'll show you how I do one more. Again, I'm just taking my hand and pushing down on it and it'll separate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all 5. Okay, so this is what I am left with. These are the cloves of garlic. Now what I want is to get them all like this. Whoops. Let's see if we can get that. There you go. So like this. You'll see that they kind of have this hard end and they're covered in a thick shell, like a paper shell. So we want to take a small paring knife or a sharp enough knife, and we're just going to cut the bottom off. And my trick is I don't cut all the way. So I just leave it so it's hanging on just a little, and then I just peel that outer shell off. And usually it'll stick to the end. So I'll show you again. We're going to cut off that hard part at the bottom. Oops. And I'm not going to cut all the way. I'm just going to leave it so it's still intact on one side, and then usually with that it starts to peel off the outer shell. Your hands are going to get a little sticky. So this garlic has some spots on it. I'm just going to cut that off. You can wear gloves if you want doing this. This is a little labor intensive, not much. It's just a repetitive job you have to do over and over again. So you can actually buy garlic already in just the naked cloves. So that is a little bit easier, but also that costs more because someone already did that job for you. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money, you can just easily buy some garlic heads like I did and do the work yourself. All right, so I'm going to do that to the rest of these. Okay, so if you labored through that and you peeled all of the cloves of garlic, that was the hardest part. So it's smooth sailing from here on out. So now we have our garlic cloves, and you're going to need some olive oil. Okay, so we're going to move over to a saucepan. It doesn't need to be a big one. We're going to put it on low heat. So mine is by numbers. I'm going to put it on so it's to 3, and then we're going to add 2 cups of oil. But first, let's add in our garlic. Anytime you're working with sharp knives, hot pots, you just want to remember to be safe and make sure you are aware of your surroundings. So I don't want to touch the pot, even though I just turned the fire on. I don't want to touch this area because it's hot. Okay. Now we're going to add 2 cups of olive oil. And it should just about cover the garlic. Now you might think that's a lot of oil. The oil is still usable. When we make our confit, we're going to use the oil in dishes as well. So it's going to give this oil a delicious garlic flavor. All right. So I just want to make sure that the oil gets gets under and around every piece of garlic. So I'm just going to do a quick stir. All right. So you can see that the bubbles are getting bigger. I turned my heat down even more. I don't want it to fry. I just want it to slowly cook. You can also add some herbs. So you can add spices, any other kind of flavor you want to make with this. Maybe some rosemary or some thyme. And you're just going to stir it every so often, and you're going to let it cook for 12 to 18 minutes. So I'm going to pop back in every so often so you can take a look at it. I might go through my spice cabinet and see if I can add some other herbs to this. So just checking in. I don't have any rosemary. That's what I would like to add. So I'm just going to leave it plain garlic. So if you have rosemary or thyme, you can add it to this. You could add a little bit of onion powder if you want. I'm just going to keep it just garlic. It's still going to be delicious, and I'm really going to enjoy this. So it has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I've been stirring it every few minutes, being very careful because the oil is very, very hot. So you don't want to have anything splash back at you. You don't want to stir it really fast because again, it's gonna splash and that's gonna hurt. But I've just been slowly stirring like this every few minutes. You'll know it's ready if you take a knife and a spoon and you just grab one clove, try to get no oil, and then I'm just going to pierce it with a knife. I don't know if you can tell, but that went in very easily. It's a little blurry. Let's see if I can get it clearer. So again, I'm going to take the knife and very carefully, again, the garlic is very hot. The knife is sharp. I don't want to injure myself. So I'm just going to stab it, and it very easily went in. You see it's not hard. So this is done. So now what we're going to do is take it off of the heat. I'm going to turn the heat off. And we're just going to stir it slowly to help it cool down. But I'm going to remove it from the heat. So I took it off of the heat source, which means I just took it off of the stove. It is very hot, so I don't want to put it right down on the counter. So I have a trivet here. And I'm just going to slowly stir it until it cools down. This is going to make sure that it cools evenly, so it doesn't cool too fast. So I'm just gonna do this for a few minutes. So I'm not gonna continuously stir it. I'm just gonna stir it every few minutes and let it cool. And it should take about less than 20 minutes. It's still cooling, but you'll notice that when it was cooking, all the garlic rose to the top. And now that it's cooling, all the garlic is sitting on the bottom. So that's a good sign. So once it has cooled completely, we're going to get a jar and transfer the garlic into the jar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once the garlic is in the jar, I'm going to transfer as much oil as I want. So you can transfer a little bit of oil if you want. I'm going to use all my oil. We do use oil in this house. We use it for cooking. You can use it in place of butter even if you want on some toast. And again, you're just gonna be careful when you're pouring this. But the oil has a distinct garlic flavor and it is delicious. So this is how we are going to use this, and you can use it this way as well for a snack. We're just gonna get a few garlic cloves, put them on some toast, and then we are going to just spread it like butter. Do you see how the garlic just kind of melts? No butter. You can use the oil from the jar as well instead of putting butter on your toast. But this is a great savory snack. Garlic is packed with nutrients. So yummy, so delicious for you. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of that oil on here as well. And that is it. You can also use this in dishes when you're cooking. Or again, you can just eat it as is on toast. So here is your garlic toast, and here is your garlic confit. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And if you wind up making this, please send me your pictures. I would love to see it. Let me know how it tastes. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.